So we started moving from AI that is chat into AI that is agents, and that transition has been really accelerated over the last few months with OpenClaw, really, and then all the variations of that. Meta has bought Maltbook, which was the AI social network that we spoke about a while ago that was launched just in early January. The AIs were talking to each other. So Meta now owns the biggest human social media network, as well as the biggest AI, that agent social media network. I don't know how much value that has realistically and what the point of it is, but it aligns to their product strategy, I guess. And even on that, that's a complete platform of bot activity. So I'm not sure, could they use that to improve Facebook and get rid of the bots? Because then they've got live access to what's happening, or is it going to be used for something different? So that one's a bit interesting, and to see how that's going to play out, really. Perplexity Computer and Replit Agent 4. So Perplexity rolled out now, no longer just a search platform. They've got their computer tool, which is the same as Agent Use on ChatGPT, I think, which runs an actual virtual computer doing things for you. OpenClaw in the cloud, effectively. It's a computer that can interact, do things on your behalf. And then Replit Agent 4 is their own new model, which is apparently meant to help you build better apps through Replit. So it does a better job than previous models, apparently. It's better in benchmarks. It's not just prompting, ideally, that one. So it's more understanding how to run parallel agents to get things done in parallel, faster. I think apparently there's a better canvas, so you're not just prompting it to do things. But the issue with all of these things is unless you give it garbage in, garbage out, unless you give it the right information in as part of the model and prompting it, then you get the wrong stuff out. So it doesn't matter how many sub-agents you have and how fast it can code, you're just going to be building the wrong thing faster if you don't tell it the right thing to begin with. And then they're starting really to move into platforms. Agents are the platform, effectively. In the future, do you need a computer if the agent can do everything? Probably not, and that's where these wearables or whatever device you interact with, so your phone or a certain wearable will come into it more. So it's really interesting to see how that plays out. I don't think anyone's got any answers for this, really. So, okay, now we have enterprise agents. Enterprise agent stacks are coming, and now NVIDIA had an announcement the other day talking about OpenClaw again, mentioned how it's the fastest growing open source project in history. If you look at the chart compared to React or Linux, two giant open source platforms in the system, they're like this, OpenClaw is like that, straight up, vertical, it's almost a straight line. It's crazy. But NVIDIA released NemoCLAW, which allows OpenClaw to run on its Nemotron version of open source models, but it also is running inside of a secure shell on your computer, so it's got security and access control permissions baked in, not just direct access to your computer, so it's a secure sandbox, which means they're targeting now corporate enterprise rollouts of OpenClaw to organizations using locally running models, so you don't have to pay for them if you've got enough RAM and GPU in your computer to do it. Apparently there's about 50-60 different variants of OpenClaw-ish type agents out there now. Once the first one's out, the rest are there. There's NanoCLAW, smaller version, more secure claws, and all this other stuff. Very creative in the naming. Google has released Google Workspace CLI, which is a version of their Gemini CLI for the coding tools. It allows you to interact with Google Workspace inside of your agents. So you can then work with Sheets, Docs, Drive. What else do they have? Maps, probably, and all that sort of stuff. So they've now given a interface to all the other CLIs or agents to interact with their own services and fit products. So then now you can get easier access to all of that as you're doing things with your agents doing stuff for you. Tell it to plan a route to a meeting and then prepare a presentation by the time you get there and do whatever else you need to do. Look at files from clients in certain Google Drive folders, etc. So Google Work or Google Drive and that whole suite of everything and Docs and all that stuff that you assume when you have a Google Work account, that's going to be available to an agent completely. So we're now starting to get into the smarter use case of agents, not just very basic tool use, which is where it needs to go, really. So this is not an idea of a model launch, this discussion here. This was Andre Karpathy's concept of an iteration loop for an agent, where you're prompting the agent with a benchmark value, something that it can test. You then tell it to run experiments and then test if those experiments have better results than the benchmark. If they do, you can commit them and then use that as a new benchmark moving forward. So you can then improve whatever you're trying to test and iterate through agents. Each one runs in like a 5-minute loop, so you can then run 12 experiments in an hour, leave it overnight, you end up with hundreds of them. So this is a quicker way to try and get something. I don't know the scope of what you can test, how big it is, but it's a a looping system, which is just a normal process. You test something, evaluate it, did it do something better? No, move forward with it. He's just given it the 5-minute time frame, so it's not an open-ended test and it's restricted. So there's a bit of a shift there, but it's more about evaluation and improving things and knowing the guardrails so that the AI doesn't go out of control and start testing the wrong things. Because the longer you let it run, the more context it loses, it can overflow the context and you start getting other problems. So having that little guardrail has seemed to make a big difference. And then apparently Meta has prevented the release of their new model because based on its benchmarks, it's not performing as good as the new frontier models. When I think that one's been in development or in training for quite a long time. So if you just go back 3 or 4 months, Opus 4.6 and towards the end of last year, if that model was released probably then, it might have been okay, but these newer models, so 4.6, 4.5 Haiku and Sonnet, 4.6 Sonnet and Haiku, 5.4 from OpenAI, they understand intent a lot more. They understand what you're trying to do rather than you having to tell it, so you get a better result with less information. They're probably running more queries behind and doing that, but it's abstracting that from you. Maybe that's why the token cost is so high. But if you spend a long time training and verifying your model, you're now behind, and then the benchmark you're comparing it to has changed. So if they take too long, then they're going to have that problem recurringly. So it's interesting to see how that plays out, because they did have the best open source models at one point. Thinking Machines Lab has partnered with NVIDIA to guarantee 1 gigawatt of compute for the next gen NVIDIA chip. That's a shitload of scale of energy. I don't even know what means in how many houses that would power. And I think NVIDIA also announced that they started to do some integrations with Grok, the GROQ, that they purchased a few months ago, and starting to release that in their data centers and bringing that to the market. And then again, lots of more news about AI being the culprit for cutting jobs. So Atlassian, 1,600 jobs globally, 10% of their workforce. CEO blamed it on AI. Couldn't possibly be that they overhired, as generally do. Or there was another video that I watched that was, if you're a giant startup, you've got market share, it's a stagnant market, you're not growing, you still have KPIs and shareholders that you have to meet and appease. What's an easy way to make gains in your market share and your revenue is cut wages. You can't just cut, because then that's a signal that the market is going shit. So instead of doing that, you're saying that you're cutting because AI, which means now you're improving your business due to AI, you're meant to get more performance. You're cutting as a cost saving, not because it's failing. So there's a different way to spin it. That's where I sort of hesitate to just say that all the layoffs that have been reported are due to AI, when there was massive hiring rounds in the last few years post-COVID, where thousands of people were getting hired at these companies. Did they necessarily need to be hired? Probably not. Has AI contributed in some degree? Yes, definitely it has. Are they making more cuts than they need to try and save face? Potentially. So it's a really interesting place how to take it and what they're trying to do. Whether they're AI driven or that's the scapegoat that's being used at the moment, I'm not too sure. It does a lot, but it doesn't do everything. And it does well, but not perfect. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's interesting. I haven't given it enough thought, and it's probably above my pay grade, but how it's going to play out. And then Sam Altman, controversial note saying that tokens would be metered out sort of like electricity. There'll be a utility that you pay for, or you'll be allocated a certain amount of tokens, and then you choose what you do with them. You go over that usage, you'll pay for it. And then you can decide how you want to use the intelligence, which is, you'll have water, electricity, intelligence, and internet. It'll be interesting to see how that sort of market plays out. And then there was an announcement I saw somewhere as a job saying you'll have your wage or your salary that will be offered plus a token allowance on top of that, so you can then do stuff. It's an interesting way to offer a bonus or incentive to someone to move to another company. A lot of stuff that's coming up is based on OpenClaw. It's been like that consistently now for the quarter. A new model releases, nothing's really happened besides there's a couple launches from Perplexity and Replit. They're much smaller in scale compared to anything else that comes out of Gemini, Anthropic, OpenAI, so you may not hear much news about that. And then there's the job layoffs, which has just been a recurring thing over the past few months as well. And yeah, that's the week in news with AI and everything that's happening. So good luck keeping up with everything. As usual, let me know any thoughts, ideas, comments on what I can do to improve this, or anything you want to talk about AI. We're always here to listen. Thanks, and good luck till next week.